Welcome to Box Recaps. Today I'm going to explain the movie 13, released in the year 2010. The movie starts and we see two men pointing guns at each other, and the scene shifts to 3 days ago as the boy remembers how all of this actually got started. We see a boy named Vince comes out of his house with his mother. Both of them do not really seem happy, as the expression on their faces is pretty intense. A girl, who's this boy's sister, she comes running behind them and goes on to ask if they're sure about what they're going to do. It turns out that they're putting their house on sale in order to be able to pay for their father's medical bills. Vince then goes to see his dad, who's in a hospital bed, and the doctors have told them to arrange the money or this man is not going to make it. The boy works as an electrician and has many clients. Today his client is Mr. Harrison. The man opens a letter, having no idea that he is being watched by a cop who is parked across the street. The man takes the letter to his much younger girlfriend, telling her that he's going to make a lot of money through this, and goes on to add that she's going to love him again. Vince then eavesdrops on the whole conversation, and as he gets out of the house, the cop takes a picture of him as well. When he makes his way back home, we learn that it is his youngest sister's birthday. The whole family, except their father, sit around the dining table as they celebrate the little girl's special day. The whole family laughs when the little girl says that she wishes she had her own lamb. We then see a man named Jasper Baggs, who meets with a man who lends him $2 million. This man seems to be a shady one. It turns out that the man is expecting to be paid $3 million in return, and that too just in 3 days. The scene changes to a prison, where 3 officers open a cell and deliver a bag to the prisoner inside. The prisoner thinks that they're going to kill him, but it does not really turn out to be the case. The prisoner is even more horrified when he sees a man bringing a coffin. He's now sure that they're going to kill him, but those officers just pick him up and put the prisoner in the coffin. The next day, Vince yet again makes his way to the hospital to see his father, hoping to get some positive news on his old man, but it is not there. He gets even more worried as he is told that his father is going to need yet another surgery. The boy gets worried hearing this because they're already out of money, and this surgery just means that he's going to be in debt now. Vince realizes that he's going to have to think about something out of the box, or else his whole family is going to be in a large debt, and they will spend a lifetime clearing it. He has to go to work for now. The boy makes his way to the same client's place, and when he gets there, he goes on to learn that Mr. Harrison is currently in a meeting with a friend. We see Mr. Harrison telling that man that he has gotten a job through which he's going to make a lot of money. Vince seems to be pretty interested in this conversation because the conversation is about a big chunk of money, and he needs a lot of it, so he desperately tries to eavesdrop on their conversation. After that, Harrison goes on to inject himself with an injection and makes his way to another room where his girl is waiting for him. He wants to make love to his girlfriend, but it turns out he has overdosed and goes on to have a heart attack and dies. Vince does not care about the fact that he has died. He just wants the money Harrison was talking about, so he quietly goes upstairs and gets that mysterious envelope containing the letter. When he later opens the envelope, he sees that it has a train ticket for New York and a CPS receipt for pickup. The boy goes to the post office, gives his ID to the man working there, and in return, the man gives him a package and a cell phone as well. He also gives him $500, a key, and a letter with a spider logo. Vince is also given some instructions as to how he should be using that money, the money that he has received there. The man also tells him that he's not allowed to take his own phone, and that he is only allowed to use the phone that has been provided to him. The scene then changes back to Harrison's place, where his girl is horrified at his sudden demise. However, she soon realizes that the envelope is missing, so she reports it to the police right away. They make inquiries about it, and when they go to the post office to find a trail, they learn that Vince is the one who has picked up the package. They right away go on to inform the detective investigating the case behind the envelope, and he's ordered to follow Vince. Vince, on the other hand, has decided that he's going to follow his plan because he desperately needs that money to save his father and his house, and of course his family from going into a large debt. A cop is, however, following him. The very next day, he goes on to put on his best suit and takes that train to New York. He has no idea that he's being followed by a cop. The scene then changes to the man who was put in a coffin. This man is taken to a mysterious place. A man in a black suit wearing a hat appears and orders his men to unshackle his legs and takes him away. In the meantime, Vince has gotten to his destination, which is a hotel. He keeps the given phone turned on that night. He stays the night at the hotel, and in the middle of the night, he goes on to receive a call on that phone. Upon being asked, he goes on to tell them that he is Mr. Harrison, and the other man gives him another set of instructions. The next morning, he goes to the Postnet store by Grand Central. There, he finds a locker and opens it with a key that he received earlier. This locker contains yet another envelope, and when he opens it, he goes on to find another train ticket. He also gets a card, and on that card, number 13 is written, along with some more instructions. He has been given a ticket to Macomb, but he is supposed to get off one stop before the actual destination. As he sits on the train, the TC approaches him and asks him for his ticket. The TC then goes to the detective who has been following Vince and tells him that he's getting off at Macomb. The boy, however, gets off a stop before that, so he manages to lose the cops for a while. When he gets there, he goes on to read the next instruction and learns that he has to get out of this town and be in a secluded area. As he goes there in a taxi, he stands there and waits for whatever is going to happen next. A car appears after a while, and the driver introduces himself as Jack and goes on to show a card containing the number 13, and Vince shows him his own card. They then drive on. The police officer who has been following Vince also gets there with the cabbie, but he is too late. Vince is already gone with Jack. Marlene, the police officer, is annoyed because he now has no clue where to follow Vince. Vince, in the meantime, is driven to the middle of the forest, where we see a shack. He's received by two other men who give him new clothes to wear and inspect his old ones too. They then thoroughly search him, and when they are unable to find anything suspicious on him, they even go on to cut off the heels of his shoes, but they do not find anything fishy on him, and he's approved. After that, they take Vince to a big, fancy mansion, and we see many people from different areas who have apparently come there to take part in a game. There, an old man named Joe meets Vince. He right away recognizes Vince as a fraud because he knows Vince is not Harrison. We learn that Joe is his patron. He goes on to give the boy a chance to explain himself, and Vince tells him that he is going to play instead of Harrison, as he is dead. Joe does not want to get in trouble with the other patrons, so he has no choice but to allow the boy to be a part of the game. Vince then goes downstairs, where a lot of big bets are going on, and the amount put in every bet is big. We then see there, it seems like he's not new to this place or these games, and he goes on to bet on the participant he patrons. The participant's name is number 6. Joe bets with Vince, the number 13. Vince is then given a gun that is a Russian roulette, and he must stand in a circle with other guys wearing black t-shirts. Everyone is given just one bullet, and after they roll their barrels, they have to point their gun at the person in front of them, and the person behind them has to point his gun at the one standing in front. Vince had no idea that he was going to participate in a deadly game like this, and he is really nervous. He does not even know how to load his gun, so Jack helps him with that. We see a bulb with a spider on it, and when that bulb lights up, this is the cue for the participants to shoot. The game begins, and all the people look at the bulb with nervous faces, as they could die at any moment. The bulb finally lights up, and with multiple gunshots, some men are seen dropping to the floor. Some of them are injured, while some die on the spot. Everyone is, however, shocked when they see that Vince has not shot still. It turns out he has gone cold feet. So, a security person comes to him and yells at him, making it abundantly clear that he has to shoot. An old man comes to him and tells him that if he refuses to shoot, he is a dead man. He finally goes on to shoot, but it is not a good shot, and the man in front of him survives, which is actually a sigh of relief for Vince, because he does not want to kill anyone. After Vince shoots, round 1 is finally over, and Joe is pissed at Vince. He tells him to be a man if he wants to survive in this game. He then takes bets from the people whose patrons have died. We then see Patrick Jefferson talking to his patron and begs him to get out of there. He even goes on to offer to pay him 50 times more than he's getting paid there. Patrick is number 17, and he's the same man who was put in a coffin and shipped to this place. Jimmy, however, does not believe his story and refuses to help him. He asks him why he is participating in this game if he has got so much money. Jasper, on the other hand, puts bets on his brother, who happens to be his player as well. This is when the second round starts, and the players are told that this time everyone is going to have 2 bullets. Again, half of the circle dies, but Vince still stands tall because he was lucky, as the man behind him did not even get the chance to shoot. Number 16 is shot, but he stands up again, saying he can still survive. The doctor comes forward and checks in on him, but he says that this man is not fit enough to participate, so 16 is shot dead. Jefferson is still out there, and he goes on to tell his patron another story. He tells him that he buried a big amount of money somewhere and asks him to retrieve it if he is not able to make it out of here alive. He tells Jimmy to keep half of the money and give the other half to his son, who is also in jail. They then announce that the third round is about to begin. The players are told that in this round, their guns are going to be loaded with 3 bullets. As they see the spider bulb lighting up, all of them go on to shoot, and this time, many of them are killed, and now only 4 people are left. These 4 people are Vince, Ronald, Jefferson, number 9, and number 3. The announcement is made that the competition is now going to enter the last stage of the game, and this final stage is going to be a duel. 5 wrapped balls are put on the table. There are 2 black and 3 white. The patrons of the surviving players are going to choose a ball. The 2 that get the black balls are going to be the ones in the final duel, and the other 3 will be free to leave. Vince is one of 2 survivors randomly chosen to participate in the duel. The 3 others are finished and get a large sum of money. One of them, Patrick Jefferson, is surprised that he's free to go, and he's escorted out by Jimmy, one of the employees. Jimmy then tries to kill Jefferson, attempting to steal a map Jefferson has, leading to money he has stashed from a robbery. Another employee catches Jimmy in the act and demands that he stop, insisting that nobody is allowed to harm the surviving players. Jefferson collects his belongings and leaves. Against the odds, Vince wins the duel and gets $1,850,000. He also learns that his opponent won his last 3 duels. He collects his winnings and sneaks away from the mansion, arriving at a train station. When he spots police closing in on him, he stashes his winnings in a garbage can. After being interrogated by the police, he retrieves the money and sends it to his family via registered mail and buys a toy for his sister's birthday. However, on the way home, he is shot by Jasper, partly in revenge for Vince having killed Ronald, and partly to steal the money, as he thinks Vince still has the money with him. Jasper escapes with the money bag, not knowing that it only contains the toy. And with that, the movie comes to an end. Subscribe for more videos like this, turn on the notification, and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.